We're on to one of my favorite essential salsas, the one that's really spicy and red chili forward. It can be made with all arbol chilies, but today I'm going to mix arbol chilies with a few guajillo chilies. It's still going to be really spicy, but the guajillo chilies sort of tame it just a tiny little bit. We're going to start with half an ounce of each one, and if you don't have a scale, that's going to be about 25 of these arbol chilies. Now, you might find the arbol chilies that you buy have the long stems on them. Please break those off before we start this toasting process. But I'm going to throw these guys into a hot skillet. I have this over about medium heat here, and they are going to start toasting while I take the stems off of these guys and then open them up and shake out the seeds. Now, guajillo chilies could be replaced with New Mexico chilies if that would be easier for you. But there's a lot of other kinds of chilies that might be welcome here, like cascabel or morita if you're looking for something that's a little smoky. I'm watching my chilies that are heating up next to me because as soon as I see the slightest little whiff of smoke on them, I know I'm going to start turning them so that they don't burn in any one place here. But I'm going to, I think, just be right at the time here of taking the seeds out of these guajillo chilies. Always take the veins out as well. That's like the veins that you'll see in there. Okay, so we don't have to be too meticulous about the seeds here. Now I'm using my nose here to guide me, but also the visuals of some dark spots on these. We don't want to over toast them because that will make the salsa bitter here. So I'm going to just scrape these out right now and put them into a bowl while we toast the other. Turn that up just a touch there. While we toast these guajillos. So lay them, I usually start by laying them the inside down, using my spatula here to press them flat against the hot surface. And you'll notice here that when they're toasted, not only will you smell them, but when you turn them over, they'll start to lighten in places. So this is not quite all lightened all over, so I haven't toasted it quite enough. So we'll press a little bit more on these guys. Let's take a look at this guy over here. See how it's lightened up all the way through. That's what I'm looking for. You don't have to have a very like dark spots on these guys at all. But we're going to put these now, since they're toasted, in with the arbol chilies, and I'm going to cover them with hot tap water. Now, because these chilies will float, I usually take a small plate and just lay them on top, lay it on top there, and we're going to let those soak for a few minutes until they become more pliable. And during that soaking time, I'm going to roast this garlic. These are unpeeled garlic cloves. I've got 6 of them here that are good size. I want a good garlic flavor in this. And we're going to turn them over about the medium heat here for about 10 to 15 minutes until they will have little dark spots on them, but they'll be very soft. You'll be able to twist them between your fingers. The garlic has cooled off a little bit after it has roasted completely, and I'm peeling the little papery skins off of it. That's an easy thing to do once they have been roasted, because the papery skin, if you just twist them between your fingers, will dislodge that. So there we go. If you start down at the root end, it's way easier. And on my last one, and you can see how I said that they'll just twist between your fingers. And that not only gets the papery skin off, but it also proves to you that they're very soft. That gives them a sweet flavor. Now they're going to go into the blender jar here with the soaked chilies. I'm going to give the water a taste, and I always recommend that you do this because if this water tastes really bitter, then I would replace it with regular water. This one doesn't. So I'm going to pour a cupful of this water into the blender jar, turn this on, and make a smooth puree. Now don't get right over the top of this because all of that capsaicin, the hot part of it, is volatile into the air. So stay your distance or you'll start choking. Our red chili salsa goes into a serving dish. I'm going to season this with about a tablespoon of vinegar. You may want a little bit more, but it just makes it really bright. And stir that in along with about a half a teaspoon of salt. Now remember, salsas should have a nice amount of salt because they are a seasoning thing. So I put just a little bit more than that, half of a teaspoon there. And I'm going to give this a little taste. And wow. It's so bold, it's so bright. I don't know about you, but this is for me, one of the absolute quintessential flavors of the Mexican Taqueria.